Good morning. Taylor and I are a little bit beaten down by motherhood, so we are gathering ourselves and we are...
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
I'd like to pitch a business idea to the moms out there. There needs to be some sort of coffee situation that you order and someone brings it to your car.
Totally.
I would pay more.
Yes.
Because what I experienced this morning trying to get a coffee that I feel like I deserved after a couple hours of sleep last night and the night before, because this girl is sick girl.
Yeah.
You might hear her puggy breath during this episode. Waited 45 minutes for my coffee and
criminal.
And she was screaming and everyone was looking at me. I almost ditched the coffee and then I said, you know what? I deserve this and I will be getting my coffee.
Yeah.
So my cortisol levels are a little high while I'm recording this episode, but I'm ready.
Talk about cortisol levels. My daughter is going through something, which like the first, I don't know.
I feel like Leah's always been going through something.
Dude.
She just has opinions. She just knows what she wants and she's relentless.
She's relentless.
One time Natasha was like, my husband earlier was like, is she always going to be like this?
No, he
Like,
literally,
that is such a good quote to remember.
he literally asked me, is she going to do this to me for the rest of my life? And I said, probably. I just feel like, I know they just come out the way they are and she just is who she is. And sometimes it's easier than others. And right now I will say it is not easy. Anyways, I Googled, can a 19-month-old have colic?
I am dead.
I just am like, why are you crying so much? The answer is no.
The answer is no.
She just cries a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just so tired. And my cortisol levels are through the roof. And my husband is like, huh? Our son just never cried.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those funny things where you think you have it all figured out the first time. And then the second time you're like, oh,
yeah,
I just had an easy one,
I feel it.
That's what's going on with me. That's where my brain is. I'm just survival mode. And I'm not complaining. I'm just also being real. That's what's happening right now. Not complaining.
Yeah. We're never complaining.
No, I don't complain. That's not in my vocabulary.
We love being moms.
No, we do.
We do.
It's also just, there are things that are challenges.
Okay, so we're talking about the hospital stay today after birth, and I'm 5.5 weeks postpartum, so this is fresh in my mind, and it was my first hospital stay ever.
Yeah.
So I have lots of opinions. People right now on Instagram love my opinions.
Can
I just say they're not opinions?
Right.
Today, I will let you know if they're opinions, but a lot of mine it was just, factual evidence.
Right.
And people don't like to see it.
People don't like it.
People don't like it.
Also,
I'm like, let me show you the footnotes.
Right. You're it's actually on health organizations. Yeah, ACOG and other health organizations. But okay. Can I also just say, if you gave us our first 1-star review, I just want to say thank you, because once you have haters, that means that you've made it. And so I just really feel inspired by that. We're out here and people are hating on us. And that means that we're doing it right.
Can I also say, before that, we worked so hard for over 105 stars. So if you are a listener out there, all 2,000 listeners or plus more for each episode, and you have not rated us, give your girls a rating.
Yeah, a good one.
Yeah, not a 1-star because you're upset about something I said. Totally. That's true. Anyways,
moving on. Yeah, I just had to get that off my chest really fast. But we're going to talk about the hospital stay today. I've had 2. Taylor has had 1.
Okay, so you just had a baby in the hospital.
You just had a baby in the hospital.
You just had a baby in the hospital.
Listeners, also you're pregnant or curious.
Yeah, I was so curious.
Right.
I also was really worried about mine more than my birth. I was
Taylor's always worried about stuff,
medical stuff.
And then it happens and then she's like, "Oh,
well, I don't know." my birth at the hospital was 10 out of 10.
Totally.
My postpartum was interesting. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Totally. Let's get into it.
So first things first, when you are wheeled from...
Wheeled being the operative word.
Well, first of all, I walked to the postpartum floor, but I will say when you are transferred from birth, labor, and delivery floor to the postpartum floor, it is like going from the Four Seasons to a hostel in Thailand.
What? Why?
Woo!
What's up with you and all the walking? You had to walk to the hospital, and then you had to walk to the postpartum floor.
To be honest, I was hyped up on my adrenaline, but also my coffee my husband had just got me. I was feeling good.
Yeah.
I was so happy that it was over with, and I just didn't want to get in a wheelchair. I was like, I don't want to be wheeled. I want to do my victory walk out.
Totally.
And
you're feeling all hot.
Meanwhile, I'm someone who's like, don't walk, lay in your bed, post. And I'm like walking, dinging the elevator, like. I don't practice what I preach, apparently.
Well, we know that from the due date situation.
Yeah. I'm like, be patient.
Right.
6 dates a day.
Get out. But you're all hopped up on adrenaline.
But can we talk about that for a second? Like, why do the postpartum rooms, like what's happening there?
I'll never forget when I accidentally had an unmedicated birth. Then the nurse who was there with me through the whole thing, which lasted about 12 minutes from when I checked in to when she was out, she was still on when I moved to postpartum. And I just will never forget her face when she moved me to the room, because I think I must have gotten like the worst room. It was an electrical closet. I just remember her taking me to the room and being like, sorry.
Also, like, this is like a $10,000 a night room. Right. And like, I'm so sorry. Can't we get it together? We're paying so much for birth in America. And that's where I had to stay my first 24 hours postpartum. I felt like I was in a psych ward.
Yeah, it is giving psych ward vibes for sure. Yeah. And the couch was like a leather plank. Like there was no husband bed in my room.
My husband tried so hard to convince me that he had to go home. He's like, what about our toddler?
Send him home. I was like, I don't even want to hear any complaining.
Even the first time around.
We had a dog and I was like, there was no one at home. And I was like, it's just go take care of the dog. We've been away.
Wow, you're so confident. I was like, I'm so afraid of hospitals. So I was like, don't leave me alone here.
My mom was there. Yeah.
Okay.
So like my husband was there for the birth. Yeah. My husband was there for the birth.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you're done. Go ahead and leave.
If I had my mom there, I absolutely
I made my mom stay overnight.
I should have had my mom with me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry.
Whoa, I'm reevaluating everything because she was here watching my toddler.
Right.
She should have been with me.
Yeah. I was like, husband, I'm sorry, but men are like not nurturing. Like he's not like a good nurse. Like he's like looking at his phone. Like he's like, and I'm like, can you get me something? And then he's snoring. I'm like, okay, my mom
was like, can you get the nurse in here to watch the baby? Stop. Eye roll.
No, literally. So yeah, my mom was much more helpful, waiting on me hand and foot. Yeah. Can I get you anything? Anytime the baby made a noise, I can get her.
Yeah. I'm dead. I made a horrible decision. Okay.
Hot take.
That's a hot take.
Have your mom stay instead of your husband.
I don't know how I didn't think of that. Anyway.
Sorry.
Moving on.
This is your story.
This is triggering.
I'm not judging. I get why people want their husband there.
Yes.
In theory.
Well, and I get why like some husbands might want to be there. It's their baby, whatever. My husband was like, get me the F out of here. Yeah. Like, I hate staying here.
And don't even get me started with the complaining. Like you say one, if my husband says one complaining, even adjacent thing while we're in the hospital, just go ahead and escort yourself out of here. I want to hear exactly 0 words out of your mouth unless they are, you're an amazing goddess. How can I help you? That's it. That's all you're allowed to say in the hospital.
I will say I set my husband up for failure this time because the first time we went home 2 hours later. Oh. So we were comfy cozy in our own space.
Yeah.
This time I was like, okay, I'm going to advocate to leave early. Like we weren't expecting to stay long. I brought everything in case we had to, but we were expecting to sell our pitch to leave early.
Yeah.
And they just immediately shut us down.
Not having it.
Shut us down. And just so people are aware, if you do want to leave early, usually it is against medical advice.
Right.
And what I know now is sometimes insurance won't cover
your stay
if it's against medical advice.
Oh my God.
So we were like, we just upgraded insurance for this reason.
Oh my God.
Because I was going to have a home birth that wasn't covered by insurance. I was going to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Switched insurance to cover my OB. It's expensive. It was a PPO. And we're like, why are we paying this much if we're going to go against medical advice? Right. I would not campaign to leave early, actually. Like, unless you have the setup I had, which was a midwife was going to come visit me.
Right.
I actually am not advocating for women to leave early because I do think that you should be seen.
Yes.
And there's a reason why they want you to stay until the 24-hour, 48-hour mark. There's a lot of checkups that happen. I have a midwife who is going to do those checkups at home. So that's why I was advocating for it. But women do need to be seen more. But anyway, I feel like, so what is the very first thing you can expect? I had first 2 hours in L&D.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit on my birth story what happens with the placenta and with your uterus contracting. Sometimes they'll come and push on your stomach, help with the bleeding, take you to the bathroom for your first pee, which is really important. They want to make sure that you have peed successfully before you're taken into the postpartum room. Make sure everything's working.
I've heard of stories where people like can't pee. And if you tore and have stitches, it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it hurts regardless.
Did you tear the first time?
I had a small tear the first time, but she was like, I'm not going to stitch it up.
Yeah.
It was
so
internal.
neither of us have had any stitches.
No stitches. But it hurt. Like, I will tell you, like, it burns when you pee after.
Yeah. And they put a little bucket in to see how much, like to catch blood or blood clots and stuff. Yeah. So that's something I wasn't expecting is those little buckets, and they make sure you want to fill it a certain amount each time.
Right.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. Otherwise with baby, they're doing like a weight check.
They do the APGAR score.
Well, first you have a golden hour as long as it's medically possible.
Yeah. So baby was on my chest for at least an hour. I was trying to nurse.
Yeah.
Since this was my second time around, they weren't super hands-on. The labor and delivery nurses weren't super hands-on with lactation at the beginning. She latched immediately and was doing great. Yeah. She came out really fast. So she was really like puggy and had a lot of amniotic fluid in her and stuff. Yeah. So they were just reassuring and explaining that. But yeah, baby gets weighed, vitals, APGAR score. If you wanted the vitamin K shot or the Hep B or the eye ointment.
They do all that.
So you just have to make sure to tell them. It's funny because they asked me my preferences like while I was in contractions, and like she was 30 minutes away from being born. I'm like, can you ask me this when she's out? Like what is happening?
You're like, I'm not in my right mind right now. Thank you. Anyways, okay, so you get wheeled to postpartum, which is like a hostel in Thailand.
Oh my God. So at first they were like, okay, you can maybe stay here because there's actually a lot of room right now. And then 30 minutes later, they're like, never mind, we're taking you up. I was like,
you're like, great.
They're like, these beds are way more comfy. I'm like, ugh,
yeah,
sucks. Anyway, when we got up there, I feel like that's when things really start to get hectic. Yeah. I didn't ever feel like I was just relaxing.
No, there's always someone in your room. There's
always someone in your room, always someone writing on the board, like your exact measurements and vitals and stuff. I'm like, whoa, I'm like watching a movie of myself. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I
feel like they came in to check my vitals. I'm not even kidding. It felt like every 10 minutes, but I know it wasn't that. Yeah. But I gave birth at like 5:14 a.m. So it was just all day, which I didn't mind. But then it continues all night. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm trying to sleep. I didn't sleep for a second because of the vital checking. It's like, I get why they do it. But also I'm like, I did okay my first birth without this. My midwife came at 24 hours and, you know, I was on text with her to make sure nothing was, you know, I wasn't running a fever or anything. But that was shocking. Yeah. Because someone different comes in for baby vitals. Right. So you're getting checked. Baby, you, baby. I'm going to push on your stomach. You, baby, push on your stomach. I was like,
well, and then people are coming in with the birth certificate stuff and the paperwork, social security card, and then like all kinds of other, like the pediatrician is like, do you have a pediatrician? Here's my info. There's a lot of people who round on you. There's the infant hearing test.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
She was so unhappy during it and cried the whole time. And I was just standing there like grasping the bed. Like, and I know why they have to do it, but also I'm like, can we do this like in 2 days? Sometimes the newborn stuff, right when they come out of the world, I'm imagining how hard it is for them.
Totally.
Like the newborn. They just want to snuggle and be on mom's chest. And I know why all these things are necessary, but also it's
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I mean, it's why they call them interventions still, even though they're just like checkups.
Yeah.
But like the heel prick.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know. Yeah, it's a lot. And a lot going on, a lot of information. People are coming in, giving education. Lactation's coming in, giving education. Yes. Nurses are giving education. And you're just like, whoa, I've been awake for 24 hours. What's happening?
In your internship, is that what you are? Yeah. You're one of them?
I'm rounding on you, postpartum. You come to the postpartum floor and I'm like,
I would love to have you. I had some that came in and I was like, you are a queen. Mm-hmm. And like everything you're saying is just amazing. Mm-hmm. And then I had one where I was like, I like don't totally. It's just, it's what you've said before. Every provider isn't created equal.
Totally.
It's just crazy because you can be backed with the same education, but your values can impact the way you provide it.
Of course. And everybody's in a different position too, right? In the hospital, you're getting discharged after 24 hours. So like we have to play it really safe. So the education that we provide is like more strict because it's like we need to make sure that when you leave the hospital, you understand that this baby needs to get fed and these are the things we're looking for. And if these things are not happening, then you need to come back to the hospital. Totally. Because nobody's going to see you.
Yeah. That's the same with the birth stuff too.
Right.
It's like that's why they're pushing Pitocin for hemorrhage and all this stuff because they're not being seen. Yes. So I get it. It's minimizing risk.
Yeah. But then there's other things like, okay, so we send someone home with a nipple shield, right? But then they don't realize or they don't remember that it's temporary.
Right.
And they don't know how to wean off of it.
Yeah.
And then they're using the nipple shield for a year.
And nipple shields can impact stuff, right? Supply and stuff.
So the latest research actually shows that it not necessarily. It can.
Interesting.
But not as much as we had originally thought. But it's supposed to be a temporary tool. So like we want you to not have to use it all the time. Right. And same thing with when we recommend pumping in the hospital. Baby isn't latching, baby has a tongue tie, XYZ. Yeah. And we're like, okay, well, let's get you pumping after every feed. You shouldn't be triple feeding for more than a few days, maybe a week.
Yeah.
If someone is telling you to triple feed and there's no end date, like, no, we need to reassess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really tough because there's no follow-up and everything needs a follow-up.
Everything needs a follow-up. I feel like that's why the key is before you go through birth, find a lactation consultant covered by insurance that can come see you.
Yeah.
Like 24, 48
and
hours.
Like ideally someone to see you too, mom. Yeah. And usually as lactation consultants, when we do home visits, we're checking on mom too, right?
Yeah.
So yes, we would obviously refer out if you're having any like medical issues that don't have to do with lactation, but at least we're screening for it.
Yeah. Okay, what can we expect from lactation?
So what can you expect from lactation? Well, a huge range, right? We can't generalize because some hospitals don't even have lactation on staff.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And some hospitals have lactation from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because we hear a lot about people online who are like bashing the hospital lactation consultants and being like, I want a formula feed, like blah, 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 blah. I'm curious. Yeah. What happens if a mom does come in and they don't want to breastfeed? Do hospitals provide formula or what?
It depends on the hospital.
And also, does lactation help you like minimize your supply? Yeah. You're like, oh, really?
Yeah, lactation will help you suppress your milk supply.
Wow.
Yeah. We're in charge of all infant feeding and breast health. So suppressing supply, if you don't want to breastfeed, suppressing supply, formula feeding.
Yeah.
So I think it really just depends on the hospital policy. So again, something to look into. All hospital policies are different. These are just things that you don't think about when you're giving birth. You're just like, I'm going to the hospital, and you haven't looked into anything at your hospital.
Yeah. And lactation is such a big part of your hospital stay because it is what keeps them alive.
Right.
It's like the most important part aside from you being healthy. It's like
all babies do is eat and sleep in the beginning and poop.
Yeah. And as you know, like the first few days really set the tone for breastfeeding. And so like the first 24 hours, even if, you know, they're sleepy and they're not getting a lot, it's like giving you the foundations of what to expect and like how to do it.
Yeah. So you're going to get a lot of education on what's normal, a lot of education on what's normal for just like newborn behavior, how often you should be feeding, what to expect. So you'll get rounded on right away usually, and then you'll get rounded on before discharge, what to expect information. Here's what to look for if you need to call someone or come back. Hospitals usually have like a lactation hotline where you can just call and get information, or if you have any questions or need help. Sometimes they'll refer you to outpatient at the hospital for follow-up. Usually they'll send you home with like a packet, right? And I know a lot of people don't even look at it.
No, I didn't, but I was pleasantly surprised they called to check on me multiple times.
Good. Lactation did. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a really good.
It was really valuable too. Yeah. And reminded me of support groups I could go to and stuff. And it was really like, they were like, how many times has she peed? How has she pooped?
Right.
Like what... Honestly, it was so great.
Good.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I've never been called for a follow-up. That's a very
So I
cool...
did give birth at a small hospital, and I do think that made a big difference in my care. We did a clip a couple episodes back about how epidurals and interventions in general can impact breastfeeding. And so many people were like, this is false, this is false. Can I just say the first 24 hours at the hospital, every single nurse, the first question was, did you get an epidural? When they're asking about breastfeeding and how it's going. And so it's just so clear. Everyone there knows that it impacts it. Yeah. And that in turn gives them information on how to proceed with educating me. Yes. So it was such an enlightening experience because even though I knew it, it was like, okay, this is in practice at the hospital. They know it impacts. Yes. They see it every day.
Yeah. And like we said, it's usually short-term risks, but yeah, it's a factor. All that fluid when baby comes out, it's still in your body, right? And it affects baby too. But like all of that fluid goes to places that hang. Hands, feet, breasts. So it's like, yeah, you think you're swollen after birth. Your breasts are also swollen with that fluid. Yeah. Good. That's the gravity. So we have to know when you have an epidural because you have IV fluids and your breasts have extra fluid in them.
And baby could be sleepier. Yes. So I just thought that was interesting to point out is like they really see it every day and they were all saying the same things.
Yeah. Everyone will round on you, but you can also always like click your button and ask for nurses or lactation or both.
I want to say that lactation saw me maybe 3 times within a 24-hour period. Someone initially came in to check. Someone from lactation has to clear you to leave. Someone from pediatrician has to clear you to leave. And then your OB has to clear you to leave.
And in addition to all of the paperwork stuff.
Oh my God, I know. And since we were trying to leave right at the 24-hour mark, we were hauling to get that stuff done. We were like,
you really have to like.
You have to advocate for yourself.
You have to push.
You have to push.
Because they're like, la-di-da, you know, rounding on you. And like.
We asked to be the first one seen by the pediatrician. We were really annoying.
Totally. But you have to be like,
oh, I need to get home to my toddler.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, baby. The second time I was like, get me out. Get me out of here.
Get me out.
Okay. So just a few last things on lactation. People will freak out because in the first 24 hours, baby isn't latching yet. And we give the baby 24 hours of grace. They're sleepy. They're like, holy cow, they just went through a lot. And they don't come out hungry, right? Their bellies are full of amniotic fluid. That's what they've been nourished by for the past 9 months. So they're not coming out like they've never eaten before. Yep. So if they won't latch, your body still needs to know that baby's here. So what I did the second time, knowing what I know now, was I tried to latch baby. And if baby wouldn't latch, then every 2 hours, I know they say 3, look, fine. But the more stimulation, the better. So like, why not do every 2? Yeah. So if she wouldn't latch, I would just hand express every 2 hours. I would try to get her to the breast. And if I couldn't get her to the breast, skin to skin, skin to skin, skin to skin, skin to skin. Get those hormones
flowing.
Helps
with everything. Your own like hemorrhaging, everything.
Yes, it helps with everything. So if they won't latch, just focus on skin to skin, hand expressing, getting colostrum expressed. And then you can finger feed or spoon feed or cup feed to baby to get those calories in. But in the first 24 hours, we're like not worried about getting volume into baby.
Yeah.
We want to get 5 milliliters in them every 3 hours, but 5 milliliters is like literally the size of like a pea.
Yeah.
So we're really not too worried about it. After 24 hours, if they still won't latch, we're like, wake up. It's time to wake up.
Yeah.
So that's when we're really sort of more hands-on and pushing. So if you notice in the first 24 hours, your lactation consultant is like, it's okay. They're not just being like airy.
And you might get different advice.
Yes.
Anyway, when the pediatrician was discharging us, we had lost already about 7%.
Yeah.
They're already using kind of alarmist language.
Yes.
And then a lactation consultant came in to clear us and was like, girl, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah.
Your baby's latching,
right.
Stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
You're good. Just
right.
keep going. Like
yes.
keep breastfeeding. Make sure you see someone in a few days. Call us if you have issues. Just not alarmist at all,
right.
which gives mom's confidence. I think the alarmist language is just...
It really makes you start doubting your body.
Yeah.
And that's just not what you need. I'm not saying there aren't reasons to be alarmed.
Right. And I get it. The stakes are high. We're talking about, and no growing someone.
Yes. And no one's seeing you. And so that's why you get this alarmist language, because babies get to 7, 8, 9, 10% weight loss before discharge. And we're like, is this baby going to be okay?
Right.
And like, what's going to happen when the parents get home? Are they super on it, or are they like, whatever? Right. And then like we see people with language barriers and different cultures. It's really hard, like working in the hospital, seeing someone for 24 hours, discharging them, and then being like, bye, see you never.
I know. We need a better system.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's where the alarmist language comes in, because we're like trying to get across, this is very important. And these are the red flags. And I'm not saying it's the right way, the alarmist language. I'm just saying that's why it happens.
Yeah. A lot of the alarmist language I got was from the doctor.
Yeah.
Not even from lactation consultants.
Sure. Well, doctors are licensed and lactation consultants are certified. So it's totally different in the law. The doctor can lose their license. So it's very different legally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways.
Never thought about it like that.
Yeah. People can.
It was the pediatrician that was like, I am not signing off on you leaving until 24 hours.
Yeah. And they're the ones that have to.
Yeah.
Not the lactation consultant.
I know.
Like lactation comes in and they work with the doctor.
Which, by the way, so interesting.
Yes.
Because it's the pediatrician.
They're legally responsible for the baby's health, though.
And all they checked on besides vitals was lactation.
And that's why it's a team and they're supposed to work together.
I know. So how is that now that you're seeing it? Like, do you work closely with the pediatrician on staff?
Yeah. And the nurse and the pediatrician and the lactation consultants, everybody works together.
That's good.
But the alarms go off for the pediatricians in general when there's 7% weight loss, and they just want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Totally.
Anyway, so I am a huge proponent of hand expressing once baby is here every 2 hours in the day. If baby is latching okay, you don't have to, but knowing what I know, I would hand express after for the first 3 days until your milk starts to transition and you have more volume, just because like, why not?
Yeah, I remember finding it really useful to look up hand expression videos before.
Yes. And someone in the hospital should teach you how to hand express.
I actually was doing it to maybe try to start labor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Against my advice.
Right.
AMA against my advice.
Do as I say, not as I do. Right?
Right.
And then they'll tell you this in the hospital, but day 1, you need 1 pee and poop. Day 2, you need 2 pees and poops.
They give you a tracking sheet.
Yes. And the reason why we want to track it is because that's output. Pooping and peeing enough. That means that they're taking in enough.
Yes.
So
ours were off the sheet. Like we had filled it out so much. So even though she was losing like a decent amount of weight, the lactation consultant was like, look, she's peeing and pooping. Right. Like she's already passed her meconium and everything and having blowout brown poops. Like you're good.
Right. There's volume. Right? Yeah. There's volume. So there's a lot of different factors, but that's what to expect. The second night is called the second night syndrome. And typically your baby will wake up.
Also, what I will say is the second time around, I was like, big
and
poop.
we're pooping.
I've got this. I'm trying I was trying to side lie in the hospital to feed her and stuff. And a lactation consultant that I saw maybe 4 days postpartum when I really had sore nipples was like, why are you doing these advanced moves?
Right.
Get out the pillow. Yeah. Come on now. Like also, this is a newborn.
Can I just say that I too said that?
Like I've got this?
No. I said, enough with the side lying.
Oh, I know.
You need hands on right now. Like you have to have 2 pillows under you. You need to be leaned back. You need to be manhandling the latch. Like they're so incapable.
And the first 24 hours really impact. So like I was like, I've got it. She's latching. She's doing this. But then the nipple pain came because I wasn't actually doing it right. And you don't really know until you have enough friction. And then you're like, oh my God.
And then you're like,
I messed myself up. Right. So please.
And then it's hard to fix because they're on the boob so much that you're just continually getting.
It hurts so bad. Yeah, and it's fine now. But if you feel any pain at all, lactation consultant. Yeah. It's so funny. Even knowing what I know, like she saved my journey.
But also it's like knowing what you know and then having someone else's eyes and like it's different in practice than it is on yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. You're out of it. You just birthed a human.
Yeah, you're like, and so many people are telling you so many different things. You haven't slept more than 2 hours. If you're lucky, you slept 2 hours.
I walked out of the hospital like leaving a psych ward. Yeah. Like I was like, what?
Yeah, like where am I in space?
What is happening?
And what just happened to me? It's like an out of body experience.
It's so crazy.
And then you go home to your toddler and you're like, hello.
You walk out into the sunlight. Oh my God. Oh, this is really funny. So your newborn can't leave the hospital during your hospital stay. You know how I know why? My husband takes
What?
This is because the first time we had a birth center birth, so he's like, I'm gonna go take her on a walk. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like she has the thing that does an alarm.
Stop.
And one of the nurses saw him like trying to go to the elevator and she's like, excuse me, like your newborn like cannot leave. Like, hello. Like an alarm will go off. Like you are kidnapping.
Stop. That's hilarious.
So
he's like, I'm taking her on a walk. They're like, yeah, nice try.
He was like,
also, where's the mom?
She's like, she needs some sunlight. Like that is such a my husband comment. Anyway, no, you cannot do that. You are in the hospital.
That's so freaking funny.
Okay, for a second, I just have to say,
tell me,
the first poop after you give birth is very scary and very traumatizing.
I just don't want to push.
No, I don't want to push. And they give you stool softeners, but still it just feels so wrong.
It feels so wrong. Like why, tell me, if there's a God, why did you design it like this? It's just like, does it have to be that close? It's all right there.
I know.
It just feels so wrong.
So the nurses will come in and they'll give you, I want to say it was ibuprofen for me.
Usually Motrin, I think.
Oh, Motrin. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It was Motrin. And they have you, it's so by the book. Like they come in and they write on the whiteboard when they last gave it to you and when you next can get it.
Every 4 hours or 6 hours maybe. Yeah. And towards the end, I'm calling them. I'm like, can I have some more drugs? And they're like, 30 more minutes. I'm like, God.
Honestly, for me, it wasn't even that painful down there. It was the postpartum contractions of the closing of the uterus that like really hurt for me. Yeah. And every time she would latch on, it was just immediate contraction and those really hurt. So the Motrin definitely was needed for that.
Yeah. Do you take Motrin the first time or no drugs?
I took some ibuprofen just like over the counter at home, which was like good enough, I feel like. Where do you think we're going, man? And my midwives gave me this tincture.
Of course.
Herbal tincture that helps with the contractions.
Okay. I've seen that actually.
Yeah. It was helpful. They give you stool softeners, but whew, that first poop is not fun.
Let's just talk about like hemorrhoids and anal fissures. Like it's just like, it's so painful. And you're like, why am I bleeding out of my asshole? It's just like, come on.
Why is it like that?
Like, can I have a break? I don't know.
What I will say is you don't really have to bring much for the hospital stay. Like I know we've talked about that before, but it was really crazy to see it. Yeah. They give you everything from diapers, pads. You can always ask for more.
Yes. And you take everything that's in your room because they just throw it out.
In a big plastic bag.
I took a literal trash bag full of like pads, witch hazel, diapers. It's going to go in the trash. It belongs to you. You paid for it. So take it.
Also,
Peri bottles.
My one thing is, if you do want to shower, I didn't want to. I wanted to wait until I got home after 24 hours.
Oh, I showered right away. Wash this.
I can see how people would want to, but I am picky with products in the shower.
Yeah.
So if you want products for the shower,
I just rinsed off with hot water. I was like, scald this smell off.
But if you want to, like, because nothing was in mine.
Yeah. And
Zero.
the towels there,
like, not even
horrific.
soap. I was like, yeah. Bring a towel.
Yeah.
They kept asking if I wanted to shower. I was like, so set on leaving immediately.
Right. You're like, I don't need to shower. I'm going to shower at home in 2 hours. They're like, good try.
24 hours later, walking out like a zombie.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, can I just say, I don't know how people expect you to sleep in the hospital, because it's not just that people are coming in and out. It's like the beeps, the lights, the this. It's like, I am one of those people that wears blue light blocking glasses, goes to bed at 7, has my salt lamp on, eye mask, earplugs, sound machine. I was at the hospital like, I was so overstimulated.
Yeah. If we've learned anything through this whole journey, it's like Taylor has sleep issues.
Or really good sleep hygiene.
But like, because of the sleep issues.
Well, you know what I am? I'm
She's
like one of those.
herself.
No, you know what I am? I'm one of those babies that gets constantly only put in the blackout dark tents.
Totally.
That's who I am.
And so the baby
can't.
Human. Yeah, so the baby can't sleep unless they're in their tent.
That's me.
That's you?
I need to be in my slumber pod.
Which is so funny because like you don't treat your kids like that.
Well, I tried it for a little bit with my son.
Oh, yeah.
My mom was like, this is criminal. This is a sleep deprivation chamber.
What did she call it? Not sleep deprivation chamber. She called it
it's like a torture chamber.
Like a anti-sensory something rather. Oh, the sensory deprivation chamber.
Yeah. Which it is. It totally is.
I remember her saying that. She was like, this is wrong. To be fair, my mother-in-law, every time I bring the tent, well, I don't bring it anymore because my daughter doesn't sleep. I used to bring it to my in-laws' house with my son, and she would be like, this is effing weird.
I'm not doing it with this one. I'm like, whatever. I want her to sleep on the beach.
People love the blackout tent, and I never had really good luck with it. My son never liked it, and my daughter won't sleep in a crib when we're away. Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
I also read something recently that was like, the biggest secret to mothering with ease is to just like drop as many products as possible.
Totally.
And I was like, that's so true. And I'm doing it with her, and I already feel way less stressed.
And just because we're talking about all like tracking stuff postpartum, like your first 24 hours and stuff, my biggest advice would be like, stay off the apps. Like I know people like certain apps, and I won't name names.
I just used my sticky note app on my phone.
Yeah.
And just wrote down stuff. And then once I got past the like, okay, it's been going on and like she's doing well, I stopped tracking.
I would say like the first 2 weeks, okay, sure.
I didn't even the first 2 weeks. I feel like once she had the yellow CD poop and was like pooping enough, it was just mentally in my head.
Yeah. And I understand because like I'm the kind of person like I can't keep that stuff in my head. I need to get it out. I would write it down more than I would get an app, because the apps offer so many things to track. They offer timing the feeds, how many feeds in 24 hours, the poops, the pees, the color of the poops. It's like too much information. And for someone like me who's more type A, it caused me anxiety. In retrospect, it caused me a lot of anxiety because I started tracking everything. And once I relinquished that, I was way less anxious. It's way easier to do that when you're a second time mom and you're just not as anxious in general, in my opinion and in my experience. But write it down. Once baby regains their birth weight, I understand people want to track sleep and stuff, but I would say like, don't.
Okay. Also, this is AMA against my own advice. I, as you know, bought a scale.
Oh my God.
Don't do it. Natasha has a scale because, you know, IBCLC program, and she came over and weighed my baby multiple times, and I was like, I'm going to buy a scale. Bad idea.
Too much information. You shouldn't be weighing your baby every day. You shouldn't be doing weighted feeds multiple times.
Or by yourself.
Like
just have a professional do it.
And I'm not saying I have some special skills like that no one else can do the math. I'm just saying it's too much information and it makes you stop paying attention to your actual baby and their behavior. And it refocuses your attention to something that like actually doesn't matter. Like I used to be so obsessed with how many ounces my son was getting when breastfeeding that I bought a scale at home and I would do weighted feeds. And it actually doesn't matter. Like some babies take 24 ounces. Some babies take 32 ounces. It changes every day. The composition of your milk changes. And as long as they are gaining weight and having the proper output of diapers, that's how we know. Like look at their behavior. Are they happy? Do they look healthy? There's just so many other things to focus on versus the amount of ounces. And that's for breastfeeding specifically. So all that to say, like, I wouldn't start downloading apps in the hospital to track. Just write it down or put it on your sticky note app. I'm not advocating to say keep all of it in your mind because that doesn't work for me. But I'm just saying don't go down the rabbit hole because I think that causes a lot of anxiety. Yeah. And it causes you to detach from your baby and focus on things that aren't the priority. So anyways.
Also, a lot of people wonder about the food at the hospital. I ordered In-N-Out. Yeah. And I also ordered from a cafe that I love in this area. I have one complaint. Well, first of all, what is up with the food? It was like grilled cheese, chicken nuggets. I'm like, I just gave birth. I want to replenish myself. Yeah. Like, sorry, now I have to order food. Anyway, also it's so expensive and it's like chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Well, Diaries of a postpartum mom.
I have a complaint about the water situation.
Oh.
I want a water jug that's huge in my room. You didn't have I have these little ones that they kept having to refill. I kept having to press the button for more water. I drink so much water. I also just gave birth and I'm breastfeeding. And I had to call. I was like, can I have like 4 of these?
Yeah. I had a huge like cup full of ice and ice water.
Same, but it wasn't enough.
Oh, really?
I kept needing more and more and more water.
Wow. I think that's a personal problem.
And they said,
you're like a camel.
They said that they don't allow. My husband kept being like, look, we need more water. Yeah. And he kept trying to go wander around and like fill it up. And they're like, we no longer allow the husbands to fill up the water. What? Because there were issues. I'm like, but it's so funny. Issues? My husband is just like trying to rule the hospital. He's like, I'm taking my daughter for a walk. They're like, no, you're not. He's like, I'm getting my wife water. They're like, no, you're not.
Stop.
He's like, thinks we're like at home.
Yeah.
Trying to befriend everyone.
Comfortable.
Yeah, it's so funny. Anyway, the bills. Oh my God. Can I just say what happened to me for a second?
It's so bad.
So my husband and I, a nurse comes in at like 7 a.m. We're hoping to get discharged soon because it's been 24 hours. We gave birth at 5 a.m. the previous day. They're like, hey, you're wanted at the L&D floor below to talk about a bill. We're like, okay. Yeah. And we haven't given birth at a hospital. So we're like, okay, maybe this is just standard. And they just want to recheck our insurance or something. My husband goes down. He comes back up like 30 minutes later. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? He's like, oh, I just spent $6,000. I was like, what? We're both delirious. We haven't slept. Yeah. He said he got presented with a bill to pay our full deductible. Mm-hmm. Got new insurance in January. Obviously had not hit our deductible because it was March when I gave birth. They had us pay the full deductible. My husband's so out of it. He obviously did not ask, like, is there a payment plan option? Is there this? So our credit card bill just, skyrockets. I'm calling everyone, like, is this normal? Yeah. We asked one of the postpartum nurses, is this normal? And she said they're starting to implement it in hospitals because people haven't been paying. Mm. Which, okay, but like also who can afford to just do that? Right. Anyway, it was wild because also like having to do this when like your wife just gave birth and you haven't slept all night and you're being told you owe something. My husband is like a rule follower. Right. So he's like, here you go. Yeah. Like I'm trying to get out of here. Right. I'm trying to go home.
He's trying to go home.
So anyway, I just thought that was shocking. Yeah. And I spent the better half of my like 4 weeks postpartum figuring out the bill and if that was normal, and then I kept getting billed for more things. Turns out it was normal and it was all accurate. Yeah. Luckily, I've met my deductible. So the rest of the year, I'm not paying anything. But like,
God.
oh my God, it was just so shocking.
It's so expensive. And
oh yeah. So $6,000. And then that was like, I had another $900 OB bill,
right.
$700 pediatrician.
Yes.
Don't get me started on how much my birth bill was, but when I was there 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get why I paid for good insurance, because God forbid something happened.
Yeah, sure.
It would have covered that.
Sure.
But for a normal vaginal, no intervention birth to be that expensive was shocking.
Who can afford that? And like, people then do the payment plan and they spend years paying it off. Like, it's so hard, right? Because you want good insurance, because like you said, if there is something and your birth ends up costing, $90,000, like, great, you only need to pay $6,000. But like, when you pay $6,000 and you were there for 45 minutes, you're like, why did that cost $6,000? And it's like, you owe your OB something separate. You owe the pediatrician something separate. I continued to get bills. I remember I went to my OB. She had me do like a 4-month checkup after I had my daughter. And I got like a $500 bill then. And I was like, what is this even for? Like, why am I getting this months later? Like, it's just like, why are they like, there's so many separate bills, Yeah.
And I just found it interesting because I was like, going to do a home birth that wasn't covered by insurance. Mm-hmm. So just to be super transparent, that was going to be $7,500, and I ended up paying that with insurance.
Plus more
because I pay my monthly insurance.
Right.
So I was just kind of confused about, my husband, of course, is like, should I just plop the baby on our couch and had it there? Because that's pretty much what we did. And I'm like, yeah, but you're missing the point.
Right.
I was having intrusive thoughts about things happening. And if something did happen, insurance would have covered it.
Right.
So I understand.
Yes.
It's just shocking. Like,
bills-
come on. We're just trying to birth a baby.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, sorry.
Like, can we get it together?
Sorry, I don't want a free birth.
And everyone, and America's like, have more babies. After seeing the bill, it's like, how?
Right.
How are people supposed to have more babies?
I know people that are paying off their birth for years, like on a payment plan. It's crazy. And then I know other people who are like, I'm not paying that, and they just don't pay it.
Meanwhile, we paid it walking out the hospital
I know.
door.
That's crazy, because I'm like, send me a bill. Like, I can't right now.
Okay. So if you could give someone the biggest piece of advice about a hospital stay post-birth, what would it be? Don't expect to sleep.
Yeah.
Figure out where you want to order food from, because sorry, but unless you're staying at the Four Seasons hospital, it ain't good.
People will be like, oh, my hospital food is good. I've never thought that. 2 different hospitals, 2 different births. Never thought the food was good, or even like anything I wanted to eat. Sorry. Order food. And then I also would say, like, pack your own snacks.
Yeah.
Because I was starving, and even the food, like the snacks, I was like, I want real food, not this like prepackaged. I don't know. The second time, I just remember being hungry.
Yeah. And they give you all these pain meds. So I'm one of those people that's very sensitive if I don't take pills with food.
Yeah.
And they gave me saltine crackers, and I was like,
that's not going to cut
I need
it.
something else.
Yeah. I want real food. I want warm food. So yeah, I would pack some snacks, and then I would obviously hand express, and just know, like, you're not going to sleep.
You're not going to sleep. And if you do, whoa, you're a good sleeper. I salute you.
I could sleep a little bit, but just like in between all of the things, like, they're supposed to cluster care, but that's not always possible. So you're not getting like 4 hours between people coming into your room.
Request my nurse. I was like, can you not come in the next time you're supposed to come in? She was like, absolutely.
Stop.
She was like, you're doing good. You're a second time mom. So just advocate for yourself. If all your vitals and stuff are good and it's your second time or whatever. Yeah. Or even if it's your first time, my nurses were so great. Totally. And they were like, look, this is excessive. Yeah, I know. It's 3 a.m. I'll come back at like 7. Like, come on, girls gotta rest.
Right. Yeah. And the nurses are people, so like, just talk to them.
Yeah, talk to them.
And they want to help.
They do want to help.
Yeah. I think hand express and bring your own snacks. And don't expect to sleep. Like, just go into it being like, I'm gearing up for war.
Oh my God, I asked for earplugs and an eye mask. Stop. And my nurse found me them. Stop. I didn't even bring a phone charger, and she found me one. Stop. So just know, like, they're there to help. Yeah. Ask away. You're paying a lot of bucks for
you might as well
bad room.
Yeah, take advantage of it. And take all the stuff with you when you leave.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap it up. That's what to expect at your hospital stay. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. If you're not already following us, follow us. Because, you know, girls can't do this pro bono forever.
No, and we're coming up on our 1 year. So this is very exciting. And we appreciate everyone who listens every week. It really does mean so much to us. So.
Yes. And we're like so happy to have you guys in our community. It's really fun chit-chatting with you all in the DMs and the comments. So
yeah. Love you guys.
Love you guys. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.